Beneath the shadows of history lies a path less traveled, a veiled corridor where light and darkness twist together, forming the heart of Gnosticism. Born from the churning depths of ancient spiritual unrest, Gnosticism is not merely a doctrine, but a whisper, an enigma, a glimpse into the metaphysical labyrinth where the soul seeks its forgotten origins. Gnosticism emerged in the early centuries of the Common Era, coiling like smoke through the spiritual crossroads of the Hellenistic world. Rooted in the syncretism of Greek philosophy, Persian mysticism, and Judeo-Christian traditions, it was a rebellion against the suffocating dogmas of orthodoxy. Gnostic texts, unearthed like ghosts from the sands of Nag Hammadi in Egypt, speak of a fractured cosmos. They tell of a divine spark imprisoned within the material world, yearning for liberation. Central to this belief is the demiurge, a malevolent or ignorant creator god. Unlike the benevolent deity of mainstream religions, the Gnostic demiurge, often associated with the Old Testament's Yahweh, is a tyrant who fashioned the material world as a prison for the soul. Above this dark architect lies the ineffable Pleroma, the realm of true divinity, an ocean of light and knowledge. The ultimate aim of the Gnostic seeker is gnosis, esoteric knowledge that transcends faith and doctrine. This is no ordinary knowledge, but an awakening, a realization of the divine spark trapped within. Gnosis reveals the soul's origin in the Pleroma and the path to ascend beyond the reach of the demiurge and his archons, the malevolent rulers of the material realm. For Gnostics, salvation is not collective, but individual. It is a solitary journey through layers of illusion, a battle against the forces that seek to keep the soul blind and bound. The Gnostic sees the material world not as a gift, but as a snare, its beauty a mirage masking a deeper spiritual truth. Gnostic cosmology is peopled with enigmatic figures. Foremost among them is Sophia, the embodiment of wisdom. In their myths, Sophia strays from the Pleroma and, in her yearning for understanding, inadvertently gives rise to the demiurge. Her fall mirrors humanity's own descent into ignorance, and her redemption becomes the archetype for the Gnostic quest. Another pivotal figure is Jesus, but not the Jesus of mainstream Christianity. In Gnostic texts, Christ is a luminous emissary from the Pleroma, a bringer of knowledge rather than a sacrificial savior. His crucifixion is viewed not as atonement, but as the ultimate revelation of the soul's victory over material bonds. The Gnostics had no grand cathedrals or temples. Instead, their sanctuaries were hidden places, secretive gatherings in homes, caves, or remote wilderness. The Egyptian deserts, with their windswept austerity, became the cradle of many Gnostic sects. The discovery of the Nag Hammadi texts in 1945 revealed just how deeply their beliefs had sunk into the sands of time, lying dormant until modern eyes uncovered their mysteries. Perhaps the most haunting of Gnostic sites is the cryptic ruins of Manichaean temples in Central Asia. The Manichees, a Gnostic sect inspired by the Persian prophet Mani, spread their dualistic teachings far and wide. Their writings, like those of the Nag Hammadi, reflect an obsession with the eternal struggle between light and darkness, spirit and matter. Gnostic rituals were not grand public spectacles, but intimate, secretive acts of spiritual alchemy. Baptism, often in flowing rivers or hidden pools, symbolized the soul's emergence from ignorance. Initiates swore oaths of secrecy, binding them to the hidden teachings. The Eucharist, if practiced, took on a different tone from the Christian rite. Instead of celebrating the physical sacrifice of Christ, it was a mystical communion with the divine spark within. Some sects, like the Cathars of medieval Europe, practiced an ascetic rite known as the consolamentum, a single sacrament that purified the soul and prepared it for the journey beyond death. The Gnostics' refusal to bow to orthodox dogma made them enemies of institutional religion. Branded as heretics, they were hunted, their texts destroyed, their gatherings disbanded. Yet, their teachings endured, slipping through the cracks of history like whispers in the dark. This is the tale of Gnosticism, a rebellion against the mundane, a call to awaken the divine spark within. But the story does not end here. In the second part, we shall delve deeper into the schisms within Gnosticism, the fiery persecution of its followers, and the lingering echoes of its wisdom in the modern age. The shadows await. The shadows of Gnosticism stretch deep into the labyrinth of history, their whispers haunting the corridors of human thought long after the movement itself was cast into obscurity. In this second and final part, we explore the schisms that divided its followers, the persecution that sought to silence it, and the enduring echo of its arcane wisdom in modern times. The Gnostic worldview, while unified in its disdain for the material realm, splintered into countless sects, each interpreting the divine mystery through its own lens. Chief among these were the Scythians, Valentinians, and the later Manichees. The Scythians revered Seth, the third son of Adam and Eve, as the progenitor of a divine lineage. Their texts, such as the Apocryphon of John, painted elaborate cosmologies where Sophia and the demiurge's fall were central. Valentinians, followers of Valentinus, adopted a less dualistic approach. While they acknowledged the flawed material world, they believed in a divine redeemer whose union with Sophia heralded the restoration of cosmic harmony. The Valentinians were perhaps the most assimilated into early Christian communities, their teachings veiled in the language of orthodoxy to avoid detection. Manichaeism, founded by the prophet Mani in the 3rd century CE, spread across the ancient world, from Rome to China. Mani envisioned a dualistic struggle not only within the soul, but across the universe, a cosmic battle between the forces of light and darkness. His elaborate teachings blended Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, and Gnosticism, creating a universal religion that would later influence both Eastern and Western thought. To the burgeoning orthodoxy of Christianity, Gnosticism represented a grave threat. Its insistence on individual salvation and its rejection of the Church's authority made it anathema to the early fathers of the faith. The writings of Irenaeus of Lyon, particularly his Against Heresies, attacked Gnostic beliefs with relentless fervor, portraying them as blasphemous distortions of the Christian message. As Rome transitioned to a Christian empire under Constantine and later Theodosius, the machinery of suppression turned against the Gnostics. Their texts were burned, their leaders executed or exiled. By the 5th century, Gnosticism had been driven underground, its adherents forced into secrecy or assimilation. Yet, some sects endured in remote corners of the world. The Cathars of medieval Europe, who echoed many Gnostic beliefs, became the target of one of history's most brutal crusades. The Albigensian Crusade, launched by the Catholic Church in the 13th century, sought to eradicate these heretics in the Languedoc region of France. The Cathar stronghold of Montségur fell in 1244, its defenders burned alive in a final act of defiance against orthodoxy. Despite centuries of persecution, Gnosticism refused to die. Its themes, of a flawed world, a yearning for transcendence, and the pursuit of hidden wisdom, found new life in esoteric traditions such as Kabbalah, Hermeticism, and the Rosicrucian movement. The Renaissance, with its rediscovery of ancient texts and its fascination with the mystical, brought a resurgence of interest in Gnostic ideas. In modern times, the discovery of the Nag Hammadi library in 1945 unveiled a treasure trove of Gnostic texts long thought lost. Works like the Gospel of Thomas and the Gospel of Philip offer profound insights into the spiritual depths of Gnostic thought. These texts reveal a spirituality that is both deeply personal and cosmically expansive, challenging the seeker to question the nature of reality and the self. The influence of Gnosticism can also be traced in literature, philosophy, and even popular culture. The works of Carl Jung, who explored the archetypal and psychological dimensions of Gnostic myths, brought their insights into the realm of depth psychology. Films like The Matrix and novels like Philip K. Dick's Valis echo Gnostic themes, depicting a world of illusion and the quest for transcendental truth. Gnosticism's haunting allure lies in its resonance with the human condition. In a world where materialism often reigns supreme, its message of a higher reality and a hidden truth strikes a chord. The Gnostic's journey is one of rebellion against the forces that bind the soul, a solitary ascent toward a realm of light beyond the veil of shadows. Yet, Gnosticism is not a path for the faint of heart. It demands courage, introspection, and a willingness to face the abyss. It is a reminder that salvation is not granted but earned, not collective but deeply personal. For those who dare to seek the hidden spark within, the legacy of Gnosticism offers a map, etched in whispers, stained in blood, and illuminated by the faint glow of forgotten stars. And so, the story ends, or perhaps it begins anew, as each seeker stumbles upon the path. The shadows remain, eternal and watchful, waiting for those who dare to look beyond.